Hello, Central Christian Church. I am Linda McKiernan-Allen, the current chair of the worship committee. Recently, Linda McCrae, who is Linda number 1, asked me, Linda number 4, to reflect on my own retirement from ministry and to anticipate something of what we might do as a congregation as Linda retires. So it was nearly 4 years ago that I announced my intention to retire from a 12-year ministry with a congregation that I loved. It was a decision that was made by a variety of different reasons. It was kind of a push and a pull. The push was that I could see the congregation was prepared for something new. 12 years had been a good ministry, but they were ready for someone with new talents, someone with new interests, someone who could help lead in a different direction. A second thing was that my spouse had retired just a few years earlier, and I could see the delight in his life, how joyful he was over being able to use his time every day as he chose, without the challenge of meetings and administrative demands that made it difficult to be a teacher. I realized also that I wanted to do 3 things that I could not do as much or as frequently if I was still working. One was I wanted to travel. God has given us a beautiful world, and I want to see, if not all of it, as much as possible. A second thing is we had a growing number of grandchildren, and I delight in being Mimi. It's fun to be with small children who still like me, and I didn't want to waste that time. And a third thing is that I wanted to volunteer where I could make an honest contribution but not be in charge. So those 3 things were the push that encouraged me to think about that as the right time to retire. I remember a mix of anticipation and grief as I made that announcement, and then we transitioned to a time when I would no longer be pastor there. There were not as many months, but a few months between my announcement and my retirement. Here at Central, now I'm on the other side of that equation. I recognize the same mix. There is grief, for sure, because Central would change, and we came here because we like the way it is. We love Linda and Bev, and we won't have them in the mix after Linda retires. And we're uncertain about who will come to walk as our senior minister once Linda retires. And there's some anxiety and some grief about having to figure out a whole new relationship with someone new. But there is also anticipation, because we know we'll find new opportunities as we move through this time of transition. Each of us may find new ways to participate in the life of this congregation. And we'll discover new ways for Central to engage in ministries that we may not have even imagined yet. And we'll recognize God is at work in the process, reflecting, imagining, and calling a new minister. I'm grateful for a time to anticipate what we are going to lose, and a time to celebrate what it means to be a congregation that has delighted in the ministry of Linda McCrae. Ministers transition. Congregations do too. We're going to do it well, and we trust and pray that Linda will as well.